Welcome back to Shift Happens. This is where I share something that has shifted within me so I can help shift your parenting perspective within 5 minutes or less. This one comes from Chanel Miller. She's the author of Know My Name. She was on a podcast and she was talking about how she makes decisions. And she says, before you make any decision, try to identify the origin feeling. Before you make any decisions, try to identify the origin feeling. Okay, how does this relate to parenting, right? This obviously could relate to business. This obviously could relate to personal ambitions, but how does this relate to parenting? Well, oftentimes we are very reactive, and reactions are making a in the moment triggered decision, right? A decision to punish, a decision to threaten, a decision to use a coercive tactic in order to make the situation change. But what is that origin feeling? What is the root of that feeling creating the behavior, the outward behavior, your choice, your decision in how you treat your children, how you react to your children? It takes a tremendous amount of strength and it takes a tremendous amount of dedication to figuring out and connecting the dots to what is actually happening underneath that is drawing out such a huge reaction in your body. So what is this origin feeling? Is this origin feeling fear? Is it anger? Are you feeling resentful? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling disrespected? Are you feeling joyful? Are you feeling connected? Are you feeling respected? Are you feeling loved? Are you feeling listened to? And this takes time to really slow ourselves down. That's why I constantly talk about the pause. That's why I constantly talk about learning how to regulate yourself, because the more we can adopt and have our default pattern be, I'm feeling a trigger, I'm feeling a feeling, I'm going to pause and slow myself down so that I can connect the dots as to why I feel the way I feel, and then make an educated response from that place versus that knee-jerk reaction based off the negative feeling that we're feeling in the moment. This is where true change starts to happen in our parenting, where we can start to identify why we feel the way we feel. And does this actually have anything to do with my child? Is this an unhealed feeling from something that has happened to me in the past that feels very similar to what is happening right now? But it's actually not my child who was the original cause of this pain, the original cause of this feeling. It was something that I just haven't addressed. I've suppressed it, I've compartmentalized it, but yet my body still remembers it as something that was really painful, something that I didn't take the time in the past to focus on. Maybe I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the capacity or the bandwidth or the understanding that this was something that was wrong. And I've just kind of pushed it down. And yet now my child is poking on that exposed, unhealed wound. And it's kind of like a bruise. It's just poking, poking, poking on this bruise. So I'm feeling some sort of way and I'm unleashing it onto my child, as opposed to feeling that feeling, pausing, connecting the dots, understanding this is annoying, this is triggering, this is really frustrating, but the root is something different. It's not, my child is not the root. My child is exposing this unhealed root. It is now time for me to think about it and not make any fast reactive decisions in the moment in response to this annoyance. Let's identify the origin feeling. And then from that place, I can start to say, oh, I understand what's happening here. I am frustrated because of XYZ that has happened here. My child is bringing this out in me. It makes total sense. I am going to slow myself down and react to the situation in front of me, respond appropriately to the situation in front of me versus reacting from an unhealed origin wound from the past. So before we make any decisions, which is reactions, which is punishments, threats, bribes, the whole thing, we're going to slow ourselves down. We're going to pause. We're going to think about what this feeling is trying to tell me. And then from that place, we are going to make our response to our children. All right, 5 minutes or less. Thanks for joining me again. I'll see you next week.